Hi everyone, how are you? Today I'm here with a very classic recipe. I've been looking forward to this recipe because I love it. I really like lemon pie and a lot of people have been asking for it too. But look, there are a lot of tips because you know this is a school for pastry chefs. Pay attention until the end because there are some really valuable tips, okay? Whether you're making it to sell and display in your shop window or just to put on your table at home and create something beautiful for everyone to admire your work. So pay attention to the tips, okay? Let's get started. I'm going to walk you through it step by step. So are you coming with me for the recipe? Let's start with 300 grams of wheat flour, 150 grams of refined sugar, and 100 grams of margarine. In this case, I'm using culinary margarine. You can use butter if you prefer, a pinch of salt, 1 well-mixed egg yolk, and 2 tablespoons of heavy cream. I'm going to start by making our dough here. So flour and sugar, a pinch of salt. Salt is always added with your fingertips, so let's do that. A pinch of salt and the butter or margarine. In this case, I'm using culinary margarine. So what am I going to do here? I'm going to start by making a crumbly mixture. So let's get started. I'm going to mix it with my fingertips. All right, I'm done here. Look at how crumbly it is. I'm going to add the egg yolk and also gradually add our heavy cream here. And we'll keep mixing it with our fingertips, okay? If I need more heavy cream, I'll add it. Now here, we need to bind this flour with the butter. And we'll do it little by little. I added all of my heavy cream, but it still wasn't the right consistency. So I'm adding, look, 2 more tablespoons, little by little. Now my dough has reached the right consistency. Take a look. We don't want it to be too soft. In total, I used almost half a carton of heavy cream. I added a little more, but always gradually. I'm not going to knead this dough, it's already ready. Now I'm going to chill it for 30 minutes. Now I've taken, look, half of my dough. I'm going to roll it out and place it in a baking pan. This baking pan of mine is 25 centimeters in diameter. If you don't have a removable bottom pan or a fluted pan, you can use a regular cake pan. Just make sure it's 20 centimeters in diameter, okay? Here then, I'm going to roll it out using a plastic sheet. If you don't have a silicone mat, place a piece of plastic underneath and another on top. I'm going to roll out half of the dough because my plastic sheet is small. So let's go. Let's roll it out to about half a centimeter thick. Now I'm going to remove this plastic. This way, it's easier to transfer it to the pan. So I'm going to place my baking pan here. I take my dough and flip it over. Since it won't cover the whole thing, I'll add it little by little. Look, without removing the plastic, I just come here and press it in. The important thing is that you press it well into the corners so it fits perfectly along the sides. This prevents your dough from shrinking up here later. So let's go. Let's keep doing it like this, and then I'll put the other part on this side. Look how cool! I've already covered almost the whole pan. Where there's a gap, that's okay. We can just do it by hand. I take a portion of the dough, press it in, and keep pressing. With a small knife, we go along the edge, trimming the border and making it nice and straight. I'm going to use a fork to poke holes all around the edge so that when it bakes, it doesn't form a bubble inside. Now it's time for the chef's tip because this tip will make all the difference in your pie, all right? So look, everyone who makes a pie with this dough always has this little problem. When you put it in the oven, it ends up sinking, sliding down, getting really flat, right? Sometimes there's almost nothing left or just the bottom of the pan. So this tip is a pro tip. Make strips of aluminum foil and place them around your pie. You don't need to press it, just give it a few very gentle presses like this. And place it all around your pie. By doing this, you'll be able to keep your pie from sinking. So it will stay exactly the same size as your pan. Now bake it at 180 degrees. It will take about 20 minutes or so. There's no need for it to brown around the edges. After 20 minutes, remove all that edge we made with aluminum foil and leave it for 5 more minutes. It doesn't need to brown, it just needs to dry out, and it will also become crispy. For the filling, I'm going to use 2 cans of sweetened condensed milk, 1 box or 200 grams of heavy cream, and 1 cup of lemon juice. We're going to put all of this in the blender and blend for 1 minute. With the crust already baked, I'll now add the filling and spread it out. After adding the cream, I'm now going to make the meringue to put on top. For the meringue, I'll use 3 egg whites, 1 cup of sugar or 180 grams, and some lemon zest. So let's do it as follows. I'll put the sugar and egg whites in a saucepan. Now let's put it on the stove very carefully. You can't cook these egg whites, they just need to be heated. So stirring constantly, we'll keep it on the heat until this sugar here, look, dissolves. And I'll show you how. Here I am on low heat, stirring really vigorously the whole time until I put my finger in here to feel. If there are still sugar granules, I go back and keep stirring until the sugar granules disappear. Now just beat it until it reaches a very stiff meringue consistency. So after beating it well, look here, it's already at the right point. I can now put it in a piping bag or use a spoon. Here I used a 1M piping tip, and now look, let's pipe our meringue kisses along the edge and fill the entire base. Now I'm going to sprinkle some lemon zest on top, and we'll bake it in the oven at around 200 degrees just to brown the top of our meringue. It will brown, there's no need to cook it any further. This pie is my favorite, and look how it turned out. Really filled, super crunchy crust on the bottom, and on top, guys, just browned a little. If you want, you can even use a kitchen torch. I hope to see you in the next recipe. Bye-bye.